Now, in October last year, the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Act and amended codes of good practice were signed into law. This is part of the legacy of the Presidential BEE Advisory Council. Their 5-year mandate ended in November, with their most notable achievement being the review of the legislative framework. Yesterday, President Jacob Zuma welcomed new members of the council in Cape Town. And for more on this, we are joined from our studios in Pretoria by the Deputy Director General in the Department of Trade and Industry, Alfred Tau. Thank you very, very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Now, what is the Presidential Black Economic Empowerment Advisory Council?
The Advisory Council is a body established by the President to advise government on how to move towards the achievement of broad-based economic empowerment and radical economic transformation in general.
All right, now let's take a look at what happened yesterday. The President spoke about the challenges of transformation and of deracializing the South African economy. Why is it so difficult for South Africa to rid itself of these two issues?
Well, it's difficult because over time systems have been put in place that cannot just be eradicated overnight. So systematic work is required over time in order to transform the economy and deracialize it.
Well, I mean, when we look at the job situation here in South Africa, economic growth as well, I mean, these are two issues that also, they seem to elude us. What will this new team put in place that perhaps can rectify the situation?
Well, firstly, let me just explain that yesterday was the first meeting of the Advisory Council. So it was in nature more introductory and setting up the agenda. So the council has to really look at its work, set up its targets, and work out what needs to be done. But what the President did was to outline what they have to achieve. And in particular, he emphasized that economic empowerment and radical economic transformation have to begin to impact on the ordinary person on the street, ordinary person in the townships, in rural areas, and in all other previously marginalized regions. So the council has to begin to work out an agenda on how that would be achieved. But there were a few broad indicators outlined yesterday. One of these is that the council has to outline specific areas in which their mandate will be pursued in the immediate term and the medium term. So they would have to identify specific sectors and specific instruments that they have to attend to. And some of this would include working in the various supply chains across sectors to bring in new entrants and black entrepreneurs into those value chains.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. But I mean, we do wish you the best of luck going into this new era and this new team working on black economic empowerment in South Africa. Alfred Tau, who is the Deputy Director General in the Department of Trade and Industry. Unfortunately, having to wrap that because we've got to get the sports news to you very quickly before the news headlines. Here's Valen.